Well, welcome to this video, and I hope you like it. If you do, click the like button, hit subscribe, and share with a friend. I'm back finally for another one. Yeah, throw my wet hair behind me here. Just got out of the shower, figured I'd do a couple quick videos here and hopefully get some of this stuff uploaded. Been dragging my feet on that a little bit, but and using a air mattress for a backdrop, see if that improves the video quality a little bit instead of looking at the crack in my wall and my closet door all the time. Today, I'd like to do what should be the fourth installment. I uploaded the first two, haven't uploaded the third one yet, on the GMO crops. Now the so-called benefits to the environment that the GMO crops claim, I split into two. The previous one, maybe we want to call it 3A, but it went into how supposedly the use of herbicide for no-till farming reduces problems to the environment caused by soil erosion. This one deals more specifically with the claim that it reduces the use of pesticides by the use of basically your BT GMO crops. There's a bacteria called Bacillum thuringiensis, I believe is the way you pronounce it. They just call it BT for short. And this is widely used as an insecticide by organic farmers and gardeners. There are GMO crops that have the genes from this bacteria spliced in, so it also produces the same proteins, and that's how these plants have their insect resistance, which should reduce the use of pesticides on those crops. BT has several different species. Some target individual insects. I'm drawing a blank on the different names. I've got some links below. There's like Israeliensis that's good for a couple things, and there's another one that's good for a couple things. There's one with a specific name that starts with an A that I'm drawing a blank on how to pronounce right now, that also affects bees, although most of these do not seem to affect bees. So that's one of the things about the neonicotinoid commercial pesticides right now. They're talking about how they affect the bees, and everybody's worried about the bee population problems. And there is one type of BT that does affect bees. That's not one that is normally used in these GMO crops, however, and not one that's normally used, to the best of my knowledge, for pesticide on crops. BT is a naturally occurring bacteria that occurs in soil in small quantities. Of course, the small quantities in the soil really aren't doing much as a pesticide because it's kind of dispersed in the environment. When they use it as a pesticide, they grow it specifically and dust crops with a major dose of it. So the way it works, it creates these proteins that when they're broken down in the gut of the insect, they become toxic to that specific insect. And these proteins break down in an alkali environment. Our stomachs, the stomachs of birds and mammals, is acidic. Therefore, these proteins don't affect us. For these proteins to break down into these toxins, it has to be an alkali environment. In an acidic environment, they break down into something else and are harmless. So that's how it affects insects without affecting us. Let's see, looking at my notes here real quick. There are some other insects may be affected, like I said, the bees, but also some other beneficial insects may occasionally be affected. They do cause allergies in some people. There's a big, I'll go into the whole allergen thing as a separate topic, but some people do have allergic reactions to BT as a pesticide, but all the data that's out there is from people who are using it as a pesticide and are exposed to it externally, or they're inhaling it and they're getting a reaction there, but there is no evidence of an allergic reaction from ingesting it. Your stomach just breaks it down. So I'm not sure how this will work long term if GMO crops take off more, because there's a difference between something being dusted on the outside and being produced on the inside, maybe with the quantity you're getting. But like I said, there's no data right now saying that ingesting it causes any allergies, although external exposure, normally in high doses, these are people actually, putting this stuff on the crops, having allergic reactions. But, being that it is a potential allergen, I guess there's always a possibility. So that is something to kind of consider in the back of your mind with it. Like I said, there's no evidence of it causing an allergic reaction from eating it, but there is evidence of it causing an allergic reaction from being either inhaled or skin contact with people who have a lot of exposure over a period of time. Like I said, and there's no data of any known cases of people having allergic reaction from eating something that was dusted with BT, or from GMO crops that have, the BT genes in it. But being that it is a potential allergen, if somebody, if it's in all the food that you're eating every day, maybe over time it would cause an allergic reaction. Don't know. There's just not any data on it that I could find. Like I said, there's no known evidence, so I'm not trying to say that it does cause an allergic reaction, but being that external exposure does, it's theoretically possible. That's just the link I want to make there. It's theoretically possible, but not proven. Like I said, it's actually used on organic crops. So, buying organic by definition, by the legal definition in the United States, it cannot be genetically modified, but still you quite possibly have a residue of this BT insecticide present. So, it's not necessarily just a GMO thing if there is a cause for concern. The other issue with this, like many things, like the herbicide, like many of your pesticides, like overuse of antibiotics, is it breeds resistance. If you're using it constantly, that's something that just tends to happen. The insects evolve, the weeds evolve, whatever you're trying to kill evolves a resistance to it when it's just out there in the environment constantly, instead of just being specifically used when needed to control a pest problem. And I'll link a little bit of stuff with that. I've also decided to do a whole thing on I can't remember his name, but basically Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who's he started one of those publishing companies that started buying all the scientific papers and charging money to access them, because I came up with that idea because researching this was really hard, because most of the good data you have to pay for a subscription or a one-time use fee that's pretty far up there. And you know, if I was one of these guys who had a lot of subscribers and made a lot of money off of Patreon, I wouldn't mind doing that, you know, buying it, but still I wouldn't be linking things like that, because you know, to link a scientific paper that you're going to have to pay $30 to access, just, you know, doesn't seem like I'm doing you any favors either. But like I said, that's a subject I'd like to get into for an upcoming video topic here. But this is a fairly short one. It's shorter than the one on erosion. I decided to split it because putting the two together just seemed to make it really convoluted. So, you know, the long and the short of it is BT is a naturally occurring bacteria that's used in organic gardening and farming as an insecticide. There are different strains of it that or subspecies, however you want to look at it, that you know, target different specific insect pests. Some of them can affect bees or other non-target insects. It needs an acidic environment in the gut of an insect to break down into the compounds that make it toxic. And you know, it might have an effect on some other invertebrates like water fleas, but basically your vertebrates, your mammals and your birds aren't affected by it because they have acid in their stomach. And there is some evidence of an allergic reaction in some people when they have a good level of exposure to it and are either inhaling it or getting it on their skin. There is no current evidence of anybody having an allergic reaction whenever they eat something that, you know, was treated with BT and get any kind of a residue, or they get the genetic material from, you know, a GMO crop. There's no sign, there's no evidence of anybody having an allergic reaction, though, however, since external contact has shown some slight allergic effect in some people, it is theoretically possible. So, and the last point I wanted to make was just the fact about the, you know, the overuse of any kind of a pesticide, natural or not. You know, just like the antibiotics being used in livestock all the time, it breeds resistance in the pest you're trying to treat. So there are insects that have shown resistance to the BT toxins in both the GMO crops and in, you know, the pesticide being spread on crops. So when things are overused or constantly used, they tend to build resistance in the pest that they are trying to work against. So like I said, it's kind of a mixed bag. Most of these things are a mixed bag. So make up your own mind there. And, you know, I'll talk more about, you know, potential allergens and things like that separately. I'm just trying to specifically talk about the built-in GMO insect resistance in crops, and not go too far down the rabbit hole on that one. I'll go more in depth on that separately. So this should be a fairly short one. I'm going to wrap it up there, and talk at you later. Well, I hope you found that video informative. Hopefully it made you think, and please click the like button and subscribe if you haven't done that already, and check out the video that should be appearing somewhere around me here, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.